What is up, everybody, and welcome back to Italian Football TV. Another incredible round of the Serie A, or not so incredible if you don't love tactics. First time in over 52 years that the top four of the Serie A have done 0-0 in the same round.
Pretty insane. We never really see those kind of... The big dogs dropping points, but another big dog getting the 3 points over the weekend over here.
Yep.
Marco, do you know why we have that scarf there?
I know why we have that scarf there. Why don't you tell them why we have the scarf? And don't lie. Don't lie.
So remember, you guys, we had two football mugs over here. Marco unfortunately broke both of them. So now we're going to switch with this beautiful Milan hat. Why?
It's not a Milan hat, number one.
It's a Milan
scarf, and it's from the Milan Club of Montreal. Shout out to my boy Marcello.
Woo!
Michael broke one of them when Brignoli scored that beautiful header against his team. Hashtag Mike the Milan fan.
Don't believe
was very happy. Anyway, let's jump into this week. Juventus 0-0 against Inter in the Derby d'Italia. A match where, like I said, if you love tactics, it was a tactical masterpiece because Spalletti and Allegri both set out their teams brilliantly, super organized, super defensive. This game reaffirmed that I believe that Inter are going to do fantastic this season because they defended extremely well, and I know a lot of people keep saying that they parked the bus. I don't agree. I think that 0-0 is a perfect result for them. They were super organized. They did nothing in attack, which is extremely rare because Perisic and Icardi are the best duo in terms of stats for the Serie A, and I think that they handled this match brilliantly. Juventus were the better team. Juventus should have taken their opportunities, especially Mandzukic and co, but they didn't. And also, I think Allegri held back a little bit. He kept Douglas Costa and Dybala on the bench. Dybala came in late, like 70-something minutes, 78th minute, and Douglas Costa the entire time. Buffon on the bench for injury. Alexandro on the bench, a lot of players on the bench. Marchisio, he kept that three-man midfield. I think he was a little bit reserved. Better result for Inter, not a bad result for Juve.
Juve did play better, I give them that, but Inter were a team. Inter were a unit, playing so organized. Handanovic was a beast at the back. Skriniar, that partnership with Miranda.
As always. I think that a tie was not a bad result for either teams. Definitely much better for Inter, and I think Juve fans will feel more bitter because they played the better match.
I see that for sure, but Mandzukic wasn't on his game. He could have scored a hat-trick. But just in general, Inter, the only team in the Serie A that's undefeated. Spalletti, you are a magician. Compared to last season, Inter, they probably would have been 10th place already.
And we'll show you the stats of where Inter did against the top three teams and what they did this season. It's completely different. They made Juve the first time in 44 games to go scoreless, and also first time in 14 months that Juventus got a 0-0 draw. That says a lot about Inter, and I wouldn't take anything away from them just because they defended. But we've got more things to talk about in the Serie A. Milan, Mike, you're Milan. We got their scarf right here. 2-1 win over Bologna. Gattuso gets his first win as AC Milan coach. It was dramatic, as it usually is with Milan, but it's the first time since September 20th that they win at the San Siro. And I think Gattuso was key in this match. Give us your thoughts. Come on, Mike.
I mean,
I know you're fueling on the side.
Milan needed this win for sure. About time he got the win, and he was so passionate at the end with the team. You know, he really wanted that. He was screaming. So much joy in his eyes. But it was against Bologna. But Bologna was actually playing very good. It looked like, I really thought they were going to steal a draw, maybe even a win. They had a few chances. But
Torosidi surprisingly was killing it.
Torosidi, he's surprising. What do you mean? He always plays good, but he's aging also. But yeah, Milan just got the important win.
I believe that Milan won this match because of Gattuso. At 1-1, he was screaming on the sidelines, and we heard that he screamed, "If you guys don't do what I'm telling you, I'm going to ruin your week," because of how much they're going to run. And the players listened. They responded. They had some more grinta in them, and they pulled through with the wind at the end. But as much as I love that, and I love seeing him after the game, and I'm really rooting for Gattuso, he needs to work on the tactics. Tactically, Milan are a team of individuals who don't know how to play together. Watch Inter, how they play, who their coach took over in the summer. They pass the ball. They know exactly where to be. Milan don't do this. They are just a bunch of players who send the ball long and hope that freaking Kalinic beats everyone or Suso does some trickery. In the defense, they are absolutely terrible. Musacchio was torn apart by Destro. Bonucci was torn apart. Not so upset about that part. But they do not defend well.
The grinta Gattuso's instilling in his team can only get you so far. You're not going to be beating the Inters, the Juves, the Napolis with this. Look, they only played Bologna and they barely won.
This was a huge win in a difficult moment for Milan where he did need to get this win. And Bologna were fighting and they believed that they could do this. Do you think that this could be the turnaround for Milan? Are Milan back to to trying to win a little bit, or just simply a win?
I think it's simply a win. I do want Gattuso to stay, but I think it's just like a little period change right now till a new manager comes.
Okay, guys, let's talk about the 0-0 results in Italy. Chievo against Roma, which ended 0-0, and we can define it in one word. Stefano Sorrentino.
That guy was a legend. He's turning 35 in a month, and he was single-handedly stopping every Roma attack. Roma had like 100 chances. They could have won 5-0, but Sorrentino got everything out. He was amazing.
Unbelievable. But I think Roma, yes, they should have won because this could have been a huge opportunity for them to leapfrog over some of the teams that they had a game in hand still even after this game, but they could have made that point gap where all the other teams drop points, where a lot of the top teams have dropped points. It could have been a big opportunity, but these games in a season happen. Chievo are flip-floppy. Sometimes they show up, sometimes they roll over. Today, Sorrentino had an incredible game. The ball doesn't go in, it happens. Dzeko couldn't score. She couldn't score.
It is very strange. I'm not saying this was the reason why they didn't win, but Manolas was not actually in the starting lineup. Like I said, it's not like they're defending a lot.
But it was 0-0. We're talking about scoring. How is Manolas relevant?
He could score some great headers. Come on, if you see some highlights or something.
These play, right?
I thought it was another beast.
But yeah, Roma 0-0. Tough one, but again, I think in a season like this, these kinds of games happen. And talking about that, Napoli 0-0 to Fiorentina. Kind of similar, not to the extent of Roma's chances, but Napoli, another team who's going through a difficult moment right now. 0-0 to Fiorentina. They lost to Juventus. They lost in the Champions League, knocked out. And now, 1 point in 3 games, and Napoli are struggling. They're in a difficult part of the season. Mertens could not score. Nobody could score. Zielinski could not score against Fiorentina with chances.
They could have taken more of an advantage of this, and they didn't, unfortunately. Zielinski is actually a bright spot over there. It seems like they really need Insigne to be part of this attack.
Again,
Mertens not looking like the player he was from last season. I had him as top goal scorer before the season started.
Still a long season, but Mertens. Last year, this Dries Mertens would have buried those chances that he had today. It's a tough moment. Sadi even said after the match, he's like, listen, we need to score. He's like, if we scored this 1 goal, you guys wouldn't be complaining. We'd be saying how we're in first place.
It's true.
Because there's a big opportunity for Napoli to go first place and change their season around. They keep saying, oh, we had these 2 bad games. We need to change this around, get the morale good. But now still with Insigne out, and Sadi says Insigne might not even be there against Torino next week. It's a tough one. You're bringing on Unas. You have no one else. They need to strengthen. I know they're only playing in 1 competition, and it'll help them out. It's a difficult moment right now, and Sadi says, listen, we have tough games. Right now, our month is harder than all the other teams' months, so it's looking worse for Napoli, and I get that, and it happens. It's just a drought.
I don't know. I'm scared it's not going to be, because I feel like they're going to start dropping more points, unless they do something in the January Mercato. They got to get at least 3 or 4 players, because every time they get an injury, they're losing points. They could have been first place by like 5 points if everything went well.
I think there's no point to get settled up, to get worked out. These kind of games happen. You go through this in a season. A lot of teams, this season happens. Games happen. They didn't do great, but they're going to get back. We got worked up on that one. Another insane drama match. Cagliari 2-2 against Sampdoria. Sampdoria were 2-0 up in this match. Fabio Quagliarella got his 9th goal of the season at 34 years old. He's freaking incredible, turning 35 in a month, and they threw it away once again. We keep saying there's this reoccurring theme that Sampdoria, I don't know, sleep the last few minutes of the game. Cagliari scored 2 goals. 1 Viviano gave to them, 2 Pavoletti scored.
They're not even good teams that they're losing points to.
And they actually risked Cagliari even scoring again.
Oh my God.
I think that I don't know if it's a physical problem, a mental problem, something.
They can't close games.
They can't close games. They did against Juve where they got 2. They conceded 2 at the end. I know they ended up winning and stuff, but I mean, come on. Anyway, we'll see what happens with Sampdoria. Spal 2-2, Hellas Verona. Another one with late drama. Hellas Verona up 2-0. Spal in the 86th minute. Paloschi pulled one back. He pushed his team forward, and they scored in the 88th minute, getting another comeback in this one. Absolute late drama. You never know what to expect. Even a 2-goal lead is not enough in Italy. Let's talk about Italians abroad. Not the best of news. Chelsea lost 1-0 to West Ham. They are 14 points off first place after Manchester City beat Manchester United in the derby. They are in third place, and this was their 4th defeat in 16 games.
I feel so bad for Conte right now. Manchester City are like one of the most informed teams in the world right now.
I hate it.
So it's so hard to catch up.
Sorry, Macaroni, by the way. I know you watch this video and you're a Manchester City fan, but I want Juve to get Man City so that they can knock them out.
Ooh, that's
I really
bold,
do. I know they're good.
I
know they are bold, but I don't know. I kind of want them to dip out of Champions League and then they dip form in like the Premier League.
I hope whatever. I hope if Man City wins it, Conte just comes back to the Serie A and I don't know, gets a team there and make the Serie A a little bit more competitive.
I think that that's giving up way too quick. The season is super long. I know he gave that quote where he said the title is impossible, but my interpretation of that was he said our stat is 4 defeats in 16 games, and if we continue this, it's impossible to talk about the title race, which is absolutely legit. How can you talk about that losing 4 games out of 16? It's a long season. A few games are dipped. Chelsea start gaining form, then they're back in the title race. But I hope that Conte and the Premier League champions could come back and do this. Some happy news. Giovinco won the MLS Cup with Toronto after a 2-0 victory over Seattle. We watched the game. Pretty straightforward. Toronto were always going to go for it, but we weren't watching really for the MLS.
Well, the highlight, yeah, we watched for Giovinco, but the highlight was when, who was it? It was Bradley. No,
it was Bradley.
It was Bradley walking up the stairs, and Giovinco was just losing his mind, throwing his arms left and right. Losing his arm, throwing it left and right. But yeah, very happy that Giovinco won it. We're rooting for all the Torontians. How's it pronounced?
I don't know. Our fans from Toronto. We know a lot. A lot of people watch. You're still thinking
Torontiani.
From Toronto, always commenting and stuff. So congrats to you for winning the MLS champ. The coach of Toronto, his name is Greg Vanney. Adamo told us this, that he's super inspired by Conte. There's an interview where he says he would meticulously watch the Euro 2016 team, the Italy, where Conte would watch, and he did a 3-man formation from that, and he learned his tactics a lot from Conte. So I thought that was a quick, cool shout. And of course, we're watching for Giovinco. Let us know if you want more of these Italians abroad.
Italians abroad, yeah.
We'll go to that section at the end. But yeah, guys, so much to talk about. You heard everything that we had to say.
There's still a couple more games tomorrow, too. So
oh, yeah. We do have games tomorrow, today, as you're watching this. But let us know at this point what your thoughts are on everything we had to say. And as always, we'll talk to you soon.
Ciao, guys.